Hi everyone, Caroline here, and this video is about headaches. So it's going to be useful for those people who have been experiencing headaches and who want to know what kind of crystals to use to support them through the process of getting relief from headaches, while they're also working with other processes for the same matter if that's what they need to do, and that's good as well. And you know what? I just want to touch on this subject because I'm just one person who rarely gets headaches. But then recently, I had a terrible headache that went on and off for about 2 days. Let me tell you, my head was throbbing. I felt as though my eyeballs were going to come out of their sockets. My head felt as though it would split in half. I was seeing red everywhere. I could not even think straight. Even laying down was a problem. I didn't even care whether it was a tension headache, whether it was a sinus headache, whether it was a cluster headache, whether it was a migraine. All I wanted was for the pain to be over. All I wanted was my life back, man. It was terrible. So anyway, I ended up taking some pills, to just kind of give me that emergency relief. And while all that was going on, I started thinking about the kind of crystals that would be really beneficial to use to provide relief for these types of headaches. Man, these things are bad. So I'm going to share with you the different types of crystals you can use and how you can use those crystals in cases where you have a sinus headache, or when you have an occipital headache, or when you have a typical migraine, or when you have a throbbing headache, or when you have a splitting headache, or when you have a gripping headache. And the first thing I want to say is that generally terminated quartz crystals like citrine and smoky quartz are very, very good for headaches. And aventurine crystals like this green aventurine here, or even this aventurine necklace that I'm wearing, are also generally very good for crystals because aventurine has a trigonal crystal structure which resonates with the energy of the head. Okay, so if you have a sinus headache, which usually occurs in the forehead area or is felt around the nose or around the cheeks, what you would use for that is a citrine crystal, which you'd place on your forehead to get relief from that sinus headache. If you have an occipital headache, those headaches that you feel at the back of your head, what you would use is a smoky quartz crystal, which you would place at the back of your head on that indentation at the back of your head, or you would place the smoky quartz in this depression right here in the inner corner of your eye. And if you have a typical migraine, which is usually felt around the temples here, what you can consider using are blue crystals or green aventurine and placing it on your temple and just rubbing it gently in an anti-clockwise direction for some relief. And for those who are experiencing throbbing headaches, what you would use are cooling stones, crystals with a cooling energy, because you need to get the heat off your head so that your head can stop throbbing. That pain is terrible. So crystals with a cooling energy like white calcites would be great for relief. And blue agate, which also has a very gentle, cooling, calming energy, is also a very good crystal to use for a throbbing headache. If you have a splitting headache, that type of headache where you feel like your head is just going to explode and your eyeballs are just going to come out, you can also use cooling crystals, but in this case of a splitting headache, you would consider using crystals like sodalite and crystals like green aventurine again, because they're great for regulating energy and also regulating the blood. And what you need is for that energy around your head and the blood that's pumping around your head to be flowing in a regulated manner, right? Okay, for those who are experiencing those gripping headaches where you feel like the energy is so concentrated and so tight and it's just not moving around, some good crystals for you to use would be warming crystals like fluorites or meteorites. These crystals have a warming energy that move the energy around. They have an active energy. They invigorate the energy around the head so it loosens up and it's not so concentrated. And this helps you to find relief from these headaches. I tell you, these headaches are something else. And we just got to figure out how to get rid of them or to prevent them. They're just something else. Oh, and I want to mention two other crystals that I worked with during my headache situation, and that is mystic merlinite, or what is otherwise known as indigo gabbro. It really is a great crystal because it absorbs negative energy and is also very, very effective in transmuting negative energy. And then, of course, black tourmaline, which I have found to be very, very, very efficient in really providing quick results when I need it. So in addition to the other crystals that I mentioned, you might also want to include these two crystals in the mix. You know what? These headaches are just terrible. I wouldn't wish them on anyone. And you know, the head is like a sacred space. This is where the crown chakra is. This is where we connect with the divine. This is where the spiritual connection to the other realms occurs. So I really feel some type of way about protecting the energy of the head. We gotta get rid of these headaches or get relief from these headaches. So if you have experienced headaches and you have worked with crystals and they have been effective for you, let me know in the comment sections which crystals you have been using. And also, just to let you know, I offer private one-on-one consultations on how to work with your spiritual tools. So if you need any kind of assistance, send me an email at caroline@crystalstock.com. And until next time, I love you and be well.